Well, good evening everyone and welcome along to Project Cars 2. It is of course the AOR GT3 League. It's the PS4 Tier 1. We're here for round number 4 at the Le Mans Bugatti circuit here in France. Earlier in the year we saw Fernando Alonso and his number 8 Toyota team take victory here in Le Mans. And we're running the shorter layout today. So that's normally used for the MotoGP, but we're using it for the GT racing today. So we had an endurance race last time out in Indianapolis, and of course Ollie D took that win. Now we're missing a lot of drivers because they're all watching the World Cup, which is, I guess, fair. But joining me in the commentary box is not Evil. He's off muted his mic because he's got a lump on his throat. But today, joining me as always is of course Vectro.
Yeah, hello everybody. I'm doing the cameras again. Evil, unfortunately not feeling that well, but he's doing the streaming for us, so it's also always really good. So, Soup, what do you think? Who's gonna win tonight?
I don't know. We've got Big Pirenta back. He was missing last week. We had a Cryptic who could have won last week, but we missed it on the stream. But he had a massive crash and ended up about 50 feet in the air, rolling upside down. So he could take a win today. We also have CJ as well, championship leader, with us as well. So any of those three guys I think could be potentially right up there. It's Big Pirenta with the fastest lap currently. Ollie D is of course not here. I think he's off watching the World Cup. And I think there's only 6 drivers missing in total, but we have every championship contender here pretty much, apart from Ollie. Let's see what Cryptic can do. Can he improve? He can. 2600s.
26 thousandths off. So that's almost nothing.
Oh yeah, and around a really short circuit like this.
Let's see. Martin is exactly 1 second slower than Cryptic. Exactly.
Wow. There comes the Audi of, I think that's Jam, and Skull goes 4th on a 136.5. 2/10 quicker than his teammate Ethan, who's in P5 there, 136.7. But that is actually a decent effort from Marley so far. He's up in P3. There is Ethan, of course, and his teammate Skull a little bit quicker than him last time out. And of course, Skull took a podium. He took 3rd last time out in Indianapolis, thanks to penalties, the good chunk, because we had a reverse grid last time. So he's doing well, and he's 2/10 up on his best lap currently. So he might be on for a good lap here. Let's just ride on board with him around this Bugatti circuit. Usually they would come down the main straight, go under the bridge, and then continue on down to the Mulsanne. But there's this little infield section, which is what we're going around right now, and it'll join up with the main track. This is the MotoGP circuit. Not really used for GT racing that much, but we're here in the night time, and you can see how tough it is to see. This is probably one of the toughest sections right here to not cut on. CJ with a mega 134.3. Cryptic goes a little bit quicker behind the 135.2. That is rapid.
But yeah, look at how dark it is. That's going to be a really big challenge.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's around the final corner. Comes Skull a bit deep, but he gets it together. Let's see. He'll need a few tenths to improve on his position. He comes across the line. He's 1,000 of a second slower as he comes across the line. That is consistency from Skull right there. Jam just popped in front of him there, and
I'm going to turn
on
notifications.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. So, oh dear, Skull's had an accident. It's been in the wall, broken the car.
Also got Infinity. He's got a qualifying ban, so he will start last. He's not allowed to set lap time in qualifying. And Matty D, we got a message from him. It is really unlikely he's gonna race tonight.
Wow. Okay. So
the wheel broke.
Team...
He says.
Ah. Right. That's an interesting issue. So the team who are leading the constructors may not be competing at all. Big Pirenta right there, Renault Esports semi-finalist and current championship leader in AOR F3 on the PS4 side. Currently sitting P3. Only needs a few hundredths to improve to 2nd. Let's see what he can do. Visor cam here. Let's see what he can do across the line. He's a tenth of a second down on his delta there. It's come across the line, and it is not an improvement. And let's see. Who else do we have out on track? We've got Arkil out on track there. I think we just saw Ethan go a little bit quicker than Skull there. About a tenth or so. A couple of hundredths even.
Yeah, they're really closely matched as teammates.
Yeah, they are, definitely. So, here we are. There's Arkil coming through.
Yeah, we just saw he is 2 seconds off again. He hasn't set a proper lap time yet. So this might, when he comes to the line, this is his final chance to get a good lap in.
Yep. Very good through that section there. We're just running a bit wide. He comes across the line and does improve, but that's a huge... Oh, he needs about 4 seconds. Let's see if he can do it.
Yeah. So let's see if he can improve. And also if CJ maybe is on the lap, maybe he can improve even more. He's almost a second faster than anyone. He's not that far off, so he can still improve for a tiny bit.
Yeah, his nearest championship rival is not here, Ollie D. So this is a big chance for him to secure his championship, pretty much, secure his position. So this will be his final attempt because he's got 1.2 liters of fuel. Can he improve?
And the time is also running out.
Hugely committed. So he comes to the line. Does he improve again? Yes.
Yes.
134.303. Cryptic is on the lap. Coming through the final corner, can he just get himself any closer? Oh, Big Parenta! Oh, that's close. 900s, Cryptic across the line.
Not an improvement. Look at Big Parenta, less than a tenth away. That was really close.
It's a good effort.
So that small improvement from CJ has won him the pole.
Yeah.
So Ethan is not going to improve. Skull is in the lap. Big slide.
Yeah, he's coming through the back end of the track now. I just saw Marty as well popped into P4. That's a good qualifying from him in comparison to previous races. Here comes Arkil. Can he improve by 4 seconds at the minimum to just jump? Here he comes to the line. And he goes to fourth.
Fourth
that's
position.
A huge improvement.
But yeah, look at the gap between Cryptic and EPR. It's massive.
6/10 even. Alright, can Scold improve? He's currently last of the pecking order. He needs a 10th to jump his teammate. Can he do that? Let's go through the final section. Looked good through the final section there across the line. And yes, he jumps his teammate by a 10th. Exactly a 10th, actually.
Almost, yeah.
Yeah.
Almost exactly a 10th. 99 thousandths, so really close between them.
Inter-team battle is nearly as important as the championship battle, and Skull has won out in qualifying today. That was very close up front. These guys battled in at the first race of the season and in Ruapuna. So I'm sure we're going to see a good battle. There you see the sectors where they've gained time and lost time. So Big Parenta gained it all in the first sector, lost a bit in the second sector, lost a bit in the end. But it all added up, and that's qualifying.
Yeah, so we've got CJ on pole, Big Parenta in second, Cryptic in third, EPR with a good fourth, Martin also with a really good fifth, which was almost a fourth, but EPR pulled it out of the bag after being 8 seconds off the pace. Jamie in sixth, Skull in seventh, Ethan is in eighth, Infinity is in ninth, but he was not allowed to do qualifying, and Matty D, we do not know yet if he's gonna race or not.
Well, we'll find that off the grid, but the top 4 is locked out by Lamborghinis.
Yeah, you can just see Lamborghini is really suited for this track.
Yeah, and Mercedes and Audi on the next row, and all the Porsches are down the back, which is interesting.
Yes, they are.
So it's almost role reversal, because in some tracks it's the Porsches all the way up the front, and now it's the Lamborghinis at the front and the Porsches at the back.
Yeah, and the two solo cars, the only one, are right in the middle, 5th and 6th. We're already getting ready for the start of the race.
Yeah, one formation lap of course as always. So they'll wait about 5 seconds and they'll get underway. CJ will dictate the pace. And we'll be able to check fuel loads as well actually, so Big Parenta with his 95 litres of fuel. Drivers will be going, Marty going for a high fuel load actually, nearly 100 litres of fuel there. And 87 for Jam, Further down, we have Skull on 87. They're probably on identical strategies. Yep, quite close.
Yeah, I think
Infinity's.
Well, no, they don't, because Infinity's got 93, and we have lost Matty D, by the way.
Yeah, he is not racing tonight. Right, 9 cars.
Great camera angle, though.
Yeah, that's a great shot.
Not a big come-up, but we hope for a good race.
We definitely hope so. There you can see where the track splits off. Normally they'd head straight instead of going right. This is purpose-built, of course, so now it's quite a short formation lap. They'll be coming around this hairpin, then the next hairpin, and then we'll be almost ready to go. Form up 2x2. If they can make it 2x2, I don't think they're going to have one car that's going to be just in the middle, I suppose. Infinities, I suppose. We'll just have to slot himself into a position. Let's see what happens. We reversed grid last time, which made a very interesting race. And now I think it's returned to the status quo. CJ, Big Parenta up front, Cryptic there as well. 2 green Lamborghinis. And let's see what happens in this race. CJ leads the championship currently by a margin of about 20-ish points over Ollie D. Ollie D missing, so he's going to extend that championship lead no matter what, unless he has a horrific crash. But here we go. 2x2, any of the top 4 I think could take this victory, I reckon.
I think anyone, even outside of the Lamborghinis, if it gets messy up front, there are a lot of cars back there who can prerequisite win. So let's see what's going to happen at the start.
Absolutely, and we know how treacherous that first corner can be. Now it's a short run to the line, so the restart zone will be quite close to the last corner. So here we go then. We're awaiting starters' orders. 2x2, they all come out of the final corner. Round 4 of the GT3 Elite Tier is underway. Green flag, good restart by CJ, and it's a good start from Cryptic as well. So they're trying to go line astern up towards turn 1. They file into order. We also have Marty and Jam making a bit of contact down there. And here we run up towards turn 1. Let's see if there's any movers made. CJ got a good gap over Big Parenta into turn 1 there. I think Cryptic is having to defend from EPR Akil, who's gone down the inside of him and taken 3rd positions. That's a good move from him straight away. And there goes CJ and Cryptic. CJ Big Parenta, sorry, going there. I think Ethan's had a problem. I think he's got damage. Looks like. Oh, Infinities and Skull have come together. That's Infinity spinning around into the grass, and then we have the gap. I think Cryptic's got back past Arkle, and there's a Jam running wide into the gravel trap. So that's 2 casualties on the first lap. CJ, Cryptic, so CJ, Big Parenta, Cryptic, and then Arkle, Marty, Scold, Ethan, Jam, and Infinities. They've all made it through almost completely cleanly. Let's see if CJ this time, he couldn't quite do it in Sonoma. Let's see if he can do it this time. They've already got about a second gap over the next car, which is Cryptic, who's having to defend from Arkle. Then we have Marty, Scold, and Ethan. And then we have Jam and Infinities down the back currently. So after lap 1, that is your order. Not quite the... Oh, we got a car coming into the pit lane. That's Cryptic in. Once again, another lap 1 disaster for the driver here. Had a big rollover in Indianapolis. This may be another disaster. That puts Arkle up to P3, Marty up to P4, and Scold up to P5. So there are 2 Porsches behind are currently chasing down the Mercedes, and Jam has dropped behind the 2 of these guys. Cryptic is the only car in the pit lane right now, and now these 2 guys have got a 3-second lead over the next car.
I've not seen the contact with Cryptic though. I don't know what's happened.
It could have been between himself and Arkle, because I saw Arkle make a move on him, so maybe he tried to come back and made a little bit of contact. I don't know, but I didn't quite see it.
Oh, there's a car off again. We got a spinner.
Oh, that's Ethan. Ethan off. He's got to be careful there. And he does wait for every other car to come past. I think that's just a spin. I don't think there was contact made, but if it could have been interesting if there was contact between himself and Scold. And that could be mean some heads rolling at the team. But he's right on the back of Marty right now for P4. So let's see if he can once again get himself a good result. Infinity's up to P7 as a result of Ethan's spin. And CJ now beginning to stretch his legs. 1.5 seconds now pulled on Big Pirenta, then followed by Ark, who's in no man's land currently. Nearest battle on track is Marty and Skuld. And he's chasing down the Mercedes up ahead. And now they've just got to be settling into that rhythm and making sure they don't make mistakes. Cars are heavy with fuel.
Mistakes are easily made on this track, like we saw with that long right-hander. We've seen Jamie going off there, one corner after that, and Ethan going off there, and also Infinity having contact there. So that is a treacherous corner.
Yeah, it is absolutely. So
and also really harsh on the tires. So tire wear is going to be an issue as well.
Yeah, long sustained corners put a lot more pressure on the tires, so obviously wear is going to be higher. I think Big Pirenta might have had a mistake on that lap because he did drop about a second. So I reckon he's going to pull that gap back up once again because he's only just under a tenth of a second slower than him in qualifying, so I can only assume that he's going to catch back up eventually. Then we have Marty and Skull together on track there, about a second between those guys. And he has, yeah.
The penalty. It's 2 seconds.
Right, so that puts Skull to P4. And once again benefiting from penalties. Now riding on board in the visor cam on board the Porsche. You can see how kind of difficult it is to see out in the dark.
Yes, it really is. Not a lot of track lighting. The only light you get is for the cars, really.
Yep. And that's why you got to make sure not to have an accident and smash the lights.
Yeah, if you smash the lights, you're completely blind.
It's okay in GT racing because you can get back to the pits and get it fitted, but if you do it in rally racing, trust me, it's a lot more treacherous. You can see there, Big Pirenta massively quicker, 135.4 versus a 136.2, so he pulled 0.8 of a second on CJ there. And we're certainly going to see a battle between these two guys, I reckon.
I do hope so, yeah. He is gaining. He was 1.5 seconds behind. Now he is 1 second, so it is kind of fluctuating. But I do think they'll be really close in match for the win.
And Arkell also went quicker than the leader that lap as well. So you can see the difference in pace than the guys up front. The guys, nearest guys, are doing 37s. The guys up front 35s and 36s. I think we may have just seen a swap for 7th. I think that was Ethan getting past Infinities. And don't forget Cryptic's down there, just in the back of the shot there. He did this last week. He came from last on the first lap to 2nd.
He is in the Infinity off.
Right, that's going to be an easy position.
Yeah, he sees the position to him. Infinity all the way down in 9th. Not a good weekend for him.
No, absolutely not. Not having a great time of it in that Porsche. I don't think a lot of people have actually practiced for this race thanks to the World Cup. So I think we're probably going to see remnants of that.
Well, England is leading at the moment, I think, so they're doing well.
1-0, yeah. We can keep you updated on score if you'd like. It is currently 1-0, 66 minutes played. So we'll keep an eye on that as the race unfolds. I don't think CJ will care about that because he's American, but the man behind him will certainly care. He's British.
Let's see. Did we just get a swap position? I
yeah,
think
Skuld has got past. Yeah, he has.
Martin. He has got past him, so did he make a mistake on his own, or did he just slow down? And Even also has a penalty. Even also had a corner penalty, and there's Infinity in. Infinity's into the pits.
Yeah,
Let's see how much seconds does Even have. Also 2 seconds. So this track is really harsh on track penalties.
Yeah, especially on that last corner. If you run too wide, it's going to really play havoc.
Yeah, also
so
in qualifying. When you run wide at the last 2 corners, it also invalidates in that next lap, so really harsh there.
Yeah, even if you do slow down, it will still do it, which is a little bit annoying. Well done.
It's starting to bring up a bit more gaps. The smallest gap we have is for the lead, so that's good to see. Let's keep our eyes on them because we've seen in Burapuna, we've missed a lot of mistakes they've made. So any little mistake can cause for a stop for the lead, and he's really close, 2 tenths.
I have been reliably informed that Croatia just scored.
Oh, so it's 1-1 now?
Yes.
Oh
And
dear.
so, I was about to say, CJ just made a massive error through the S section there, and you can see how much Big Parenta closed up there. 0.3 of a second the gap up front.
Look at how close it is.
Yeah, and I think
Cryptic also coming behind the back of Ethan, slowly but surely. But let's
CJ
take a
made a
look at the lead,
mistake.
and he's right behind him.
yeah, here comes Big Parenta. Can he make a move down the inside of this long right-hander? No, he's going to get shut, the door shut, but he's going to stick his nose in. And the two Lamborghinis side by side for the lead in Le Mans. Who's going to come out on top? We got Big Parenta on the outside, CJ on the inside. Good little battle going on between these two guys. He's going to try and sweep around the outside of the left-hander. Can he make that work? They're still side by side from turn 1, and they're coming up towards turn 4 now. We got Big Parenta on the inside this time. Can he make it work this time? CJ trying to hold it on the outside. There's contact, a little bit of contact, and they're still side by side. And finally, Big Parenta gets through. What a battle!
Oh dear, they just went side by side through, I think, 3 corners. That's insane. I've never seen that happen before.
Through turn 3, 4, and 5.
Dear, oh dear, such combination between them, and Big Parenta's now in the lead. But such, so much respect for these guys that they've kept it clean.
Now, Cryptic and Ethan. I think it's going to be a tough ask for Ethan to be able to hold Cryptic behind, and we know how quick he is.
The speed difference. I think Cryptic, of course, on slightly fresher tires, it shouldn't matter that much. But you can just see the speed difference. I think he will make his way past really quickly.
Yeah, I think so.
There's a car off. I think it's Infinity.
It is.
Yeah, Infinity off. So, I do think that's going to turn into a retirement if he's not careful.
Yeah, now, this battle still rages on up front here for the lead. We're on lap 8, we've 37 laps of racing to go. Looks like Big Parenta was a little bit loose going into that corner there. That allowed CJ to kind of close up a little bit. Infinity's about to get lapped by these guys. That's a dive bomb from CJ. Tried.
He
Very
tried to
late.
launch it on the inside, but he was a bit too far back, but he did try it, so this is going to be a really heated battle.
Yeah, Big Parenta kind of shut the door on him there. He just left enough space for him to just have a pop, but there's no way through. Infinity's is definitely going to get out of the way of this one.
Let's see at the back. Cryptic still not past Ethan.
Yeah. So here we go through the S's.
Big Parenta's car looks a bit loose.
Yeah, probably just the way it's set up. I think he likes a little bit of a more oversteery type setup. Other drivers prefer the understeer. But it seems to be suiting him. So a little bit wide there, actually. Got to be careful not to run too wide through this section, especially. Here they come, on the straight. And
also, Martin getting behind the back of Stall again. Slowly catching up, and Infinity is in again. Second pit stop for him.
yeah, not having a good day. So, back up front. And Marty is in for...
Marty also in, yeah.
Now, that's an interesting... if that's a scheduled pit stop, then that's an interesting one.
This, of course, the amount of pit stops, so maybe they're just doing it on a tactical moment. Maybe when the guys in front needs to pit, we might have a freeway battle for the lead with Cryptic getting into the mix, if he's not getting held up too much by Thomas Even.
Yeah, of course, Arkil behind these guys is setting similar lap times, but he's just not able to catch up because it's just so even on pace. Cryptic's still not able to get past Ethan down there, so he's having some problems trying to get past. As you can see there.
There some time before. Infinity is still in, so a lot of damage. He's 3.5 minutes behind. How much use is it to finish the race? Well, I do think you will get points for it if he finishes, so...
Yes, he will.
But this battle is still raging on. 6 tenths between the two of them. They've had an amazing battle a few laps ago, and I think that's not all of it.
No, it's definitely not all of it. Of course, these guys are they're also the championship battlers in AOR F3 of the PS4 side as well. These guys are very used to racing each other, but spanning two different games, and to be both leading championships in various tiers is incredible. And they've raced each other quite often, so they know what the other is like. It's a big jump from single-seaters to GT cars, but they both seem to be very quick in them. Let's see. A little bit of a mistake from Big Parenta down through the right-hander there. That allowed CJ to close a little bit more. He's only 3/10 behind now, but he's... Oh, big moment right there. So he's going to lose some time.
That is an issue with the Lamborghini, I do think.
Yeah, even though it really shouldn't, because it's rear-engined and it's got a massive spoiler. So I don't know how the rear can be loose. But there you have it. Cryptic still stuck behind Ethan.
Good defending from Ethan, you got to say that.
Yeah, got to give it to him. So he's got to try and defend from that Lamborghini. Ethan kind of left him the space.
CJ's lost a lot of time. He's lost 1 second, so he's dropped a heap of time.
I think he's starting to struggle. So...
Oh, Ethan going wide and Cryptic is through. Well, is he?
Well, here we go. Yeah, he's through.
I think he's through.
Let's see if Ethan can come back at him. He's looking challenging. There's no way he can make a move through the S section, though. It's just far too tight.
It's almost impossible, but never say never. You see crazier stuff happen. And EPR is in. EPR is into the pits.
So he's the first of the leaders.
And also Ethan is in. No, he is not. No, that was my mistake.
Infinities is still in the pit box, by the way.
He's still in the pit box, yeah, and he's not even...
I think he's rolled backwards, so obviously he's kind of just left and... Yeah.
Just waiting for the race to end so he can get his points. EPR is dropping back to 7th.
Okay, that was a quick stop, it's obviously just for tyres.
Yeah, look at this, CJ is losing heaps of time to Big Parenta now. 1.5 seconds.
Yeah, he's maybe his tyres are starting to go off or something.
Yeah, I do think the pit stops, also for these top guys, are getting closer. And it will be interesting, where does Cryptic rejoin? Because he wasn't far off from the leaders, was he, when he pitted?
No, he wasn't. He was only about 4 and a bit seconds.
So I do not think it was for damage. I think it may just be a tactical decision to get rid of the demand of pit stop. And just try to put in the laps and hope the guys in front battle, which they did, and just hope that he can come out in front of maybe really close. So maybe really tactical.
Maybe. CJ pulled the time back on that lap, as you can see. 35.7 versus 36.3 for the leader. And of course, after the pit stop, that puts Scold into third, who's actually also got a penalty now, I've just noticed. Probably 2 seconds.
So how much seconds? 1 second.
1 second. Right, not so bad. But he has got jam.
He is 2.5 seconds behind, so he is still comfortable, but the race is not over yet.
Definitely not, especially between these two. These two have been inseparable through the entire race so far. Lap 12 of 37, almost a 1/3 distance.
The gap is shrinking again, slowly but surely.
Yeah, so a lot of toing and froing between these two. Oh,
there!
Oh, good catch! Oh, Big Parenta. I think a bit of heart and mouth moment right there.
That's not gonna do his tires too good.
If I were psychic, I reckon he's going to be coming in very shortly.
Those rear tires. He's lost 7 seconds to Scald.
Yeah, so he's had a mistake.
And Cryptic is now right behind him.
Right, so Cryptic once again driving through the field. And almost has 4th position now.
And the front runners still need to pit. Including Jenny, so... we can start somewhere.
Yep. So Cryptic has, of course, made his stop already on lap 1. Now, that could have been scheduled to try and see if you can jump the guys up front.
It might be, I don't know.
Because he's gonna, if these guys just go for tires, it's gonna be close.
I don't know if it was really scheduled, actually. I didn't really catch how long the pit stop took.
It's about 20-ish seconds, I think, was the gap.
So that will mean he will be plus minus 12 seconds behind CJ and Big Prenta. That is not where he wants to be.
Could take a bit longer than that. I didn't time it exactly, but Big Prenta got a penalty.
Big Prenta's got a penalty. Oh, that's huge.
Yep.
Let's see how much.
2 seconds. Oh dear. Oh, that's huge. Oh, he's gone wide. Now here comes CJ to take that away and through. So obviously the tyres are shot on that Lamborghini. So he's lost 4 seconds on that lap alone. He's had more than one error.
So now he's got a penalty and he lost the lead. So CJ is back in front again.
He's got to hope that CJ has a little bit of a moment and runs wide. So is he going to come in?
They're both going to go in.
Oh, that was a late decision from the both of them. CJ comes in and Big Prenta followed him in. And no penalty for CJ this time. He got a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane last time in Indianapolis, and that cost him the race win. Then he comes to Lamborghinis. Now let's see if Skoll will come in. Or will he stay out and lead the race? So he's currently coming through the last corner. Now the man we've really got to watch is Cryptic, to see where he's going to come out. He's currently on his way through the last corner. He's right on the back of Jam. And these guys are at the exit of the pit lane. Miles ahead. Yeah, now Skoll's going to have the momentum now. It's going to be tight with CJ, I think, up towards turn 1.
So Big Prenta jumped him again. So Big Prenta has had a slower, a faster pit stop than CJ. So he's back in front again. So that was a really good decision from him.
Yeah, it was. It was a late call as well. He was going to see if CJ was going to come in. So now Skoll yet to make a stop. Now in third. Jam is right there. Cryptic right there.
I do suspect the pit stop from Cryptic was not scheduled.
Probably not, no. So now the guys up front, so Big Prenta, yeah, very quick stop. Has now got back in front, and he's already 2 seconds clear. Because now CJ's got to look in his mirrors, pretty much. He's got to make sure that he doesn't get passed by Skoll. Skoll is due a stop, of course. He just has to maintain 2 seconds to Big Prenta up front, and he'll be in the race lead. But right now, Big Prenta needs to push and build a gap. And Skoll is getting used to being up here now. There's Cryptic still stuck behind Jam right now. And he's already made a stop. See, lap 15 we're about to go on to lap 37. Almost at half distance. Almost half distance. But we're not even there.
EPR and Martin also getting closer. Oh, EPR is not getting closer because he's spun.
Oh. Oh dear. So the man who was in third has dropped all the way down to 8th. It's technically the man in third position. The battle for third is essentially between Jam and Cryptic right now. The Skoll has still had to make a stop.
Has Jamie stopped yet?
No.
So Cryptic is quite comfortably in third if it stays like it is now.
Yeah, true actually, yeah, you're right.
But look at the gap. Big Prenta actually, as it finishes now, with his penalty, he will be in winning position because he still has half a second, so he has to win with 2 seconds at least.
Yeah, he's got to do what he's doing now, because right now he's in the lead. Oh, we've lost EPR Arkle, he's out of this race.
Out, retirement. The first retirement actually. First we have Martin, then we actually had Infinity, if you can count it like that. And now also APR, so 3 retirements.
Yeah, I think Infinity's is kind of still sitting in the pit lane.
I don't even really know if it counts as a retirement, but he's not racing anymore.
I think he's just sitting there. I think if he stays there, he will still be classified. So he's currently 11.5 minutes behind the leader. Cryptic is still pushing hard, but unable to catch up to this very quick. Oh, he's run wide out of the final corner.
Not gonna help.
And you saw the previous lap by, there was 8 thousandths separating the time, so Cryptic is right on the same pace as Jam, and Jam's lapping quickly. Still yet to stop though. I'm pretty sure he still has to make a stop. No, I think he already has actually. No, he has already, I think, actually.
Has he?
Yeah, I'm just checking the bottom right. I'm not sure if that's from qualifying or
making
not.
a pit stop.
So he already has made a stop, right? So now
By the
he's
way,
essentially in third.
Actually, he is, yeah. So this is a battle for third, technically.
Yeah,
but Martin, he was in front of Ethan. So what happened to him? I think also he made a big mistake. He's now 12 seconds behind him. Really lonely race for him at this moment. Even also not as much action for him. 4 seconds behind Cryptic, so he still has a chance of third.
Yeah, Infinity's just saying he's just waiting for the race to finish. In chat there.
The gaps are not that big, so we might see some battles still on this race. I do hope so.
Yeah. So, Skuld, whoa, still hugely committed through that final corner. He's sitting third currently, and he's got a gap of about 6 seconds to Jam behind, and he's lapping around the same pace as him. So, he's still yet to make a stop. And once again doing a good job.
Scalder still has to pit. I think we'll relate pit stop, but if you can stretch his stint, I think at the end he will have to pressure tires.
Yeah, I think that's the thinking.
He will have the freshest tires actually, so who knows what he can do.
Yeah, he might be able to have a late surge, maybe take fourth, potentially, because himself and Jam are very matched on pace. Now the gap up front is flitting in between 2 seconds and 1.7. So, right now it's so tight. It was like this last week as well, for Skull's penalty to get him into third. But Big Parenta has not had a race win this season. CJ has had 2, Ollie D has had 1. And if CJ can go 3 from 4, that's quite a record.
But that penalty might throw a spanner in the works for him.
Yeah. He's trying to become the 3rd different winner this season. But CJ wants to go for 3 out of 4. And currently just lapping a little bit quicker than Big Parenta. It was a good bit quicker that lap actually. It's about nearly 4/10 of a second.
In terms of football, is it still 1-1?
Let's have a quick check on the score. It may go to extra time. Let's have a quick gander. It is still 1-1. And 87 minutes played.
Will be interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
Skull still on third. I think if, let's say, a pit stop is 25 seconds, when would he come out?
He's going to come out around his teammate, I reckon.
I think actually around, behind Ethan, I think.
Yeah, because I think Ethan's already been in for damage, potentially. Or I don't know if he has.
Yeah, that's really stupid. We can't see who has pitted yet or who hasn't.
Yeah. We occasionally get a notification down the bottom right, but it's not working for us today.
It's scrolling as well.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
That's a Big Parenta, around 2.1, 2.2. Up front, lap 18, we are at half distance in this race. lap 19 of 37. And Big Prent in the lead by 3/10 after adding penalties.
It's getting a bit lighter, it seems, outside.
Yep, sun's about to come up. CJ a bit wide, he made a mistake through that section. And you can see how the time just shot up to almost 3 seconds. So now Jam is closing in on Scold as well. He's about 5 seconds adrift. And 3 seconds behind Jam is Cryptic. 5 seconds behind him is Ethan. And he's got a gap of 14 seconds to Martin behind. And Infinities is a full 16 minutes off the race lead.
But you can just see the gaps are not that big. The whole running field, only a half a minute separating them, so not as big of a gap as you think. We've seen bigger gaps before.
We have, yeah. I mean, race 1, CJ was out in front by about 30 seconds. And now the entire field is spread by 36 seconds, which is always good. So the gap is right at 2 seconds.
You can see Scald in the distance on Tita's camera just then.
Yep, he's still there. He's
far away of each other. Only 11 seconds. I mean, Scald may still smell the victory because, well, he still has to stop. But you have fresher tires, and their tires, Big Prentice tires and Siege's tires, will be going off.
Yeah. So, it looks like the semi-final is going to finish 1-1 and go to extra time. As far as I can see.
17 laps to go in this race.
So, if it does go to penalties, we should be finished around there.
Yeah, we'll see. I do hope England is going to win.
Yeah, well, whoever wins the match, of course, has to face France. So it'd be a tough final nonetheless. So CJ sticking in around that 2 second gap, 1.8 seconds now. Skull's still there, you can just see Jam in the shot now, 3 seconds behind.
And also, Cryptic is getting closer.
Yes, he is. But he has been able to catch up to Jam, really. Because they're lapping around very similar paces.
Yeah, Jam isn't the only Audi, actually, in this whole season. I think actually he's the only Audi driver. Yeah,
the Audi is kind of the most all-round car. So he's in the Audi just to make sure he gets good results in all tracks. With the Porsches and Lamborghinis. With the Porsches and Lamborghinis, different tracks suit them. And of course Marty is also in the only Mercedes, as far as I can see.
Yeah, we've not seen Marty a lot in this race.
He was right up at the front. He's in 3rd at the start of the race. He's dropped right down to 7th. Not sure what the issue was for him, but there's now 17 laps to go. Lap 21 of 37, and as far as we can see, no driver has yet gone a lap down, apart from Infinities, except we cannot really classify him.
Infinity stopped at lap 8, so he is a lot of laps down.
Yeah. So 2.2 seconds now, the gap up front. And we will, of course, today is a night race, but next week will, of course, be a wet race around Donington, I think. That'll be an interesting one. Difficult track in the wet, especially that first sector. You touch the curbs, you die. Let's see, lap 22 of 37. 16 laps to go, not a lot of time left. And drivers still yet to make their stops.
Only Scald, I think, to be honest.
Only Scold, I think, and potentially Ethan. to make their stops. And they have until lap 31 or 2, I think, to make their stops before they must come in. So, fuel is looking good for these drivers. 46 litres of fuel versus 47. CJ's got a little bit more in hand to use. He's pushing a little bit more now. You see the gap coming down to 1.5 momentarily there. He's pushing hard.
That means he's 1/2 a second because he was 2 seconds behind.
Yeah, he's pushing
maybe
very
to
hard.
make himself up for a pit stop soon.
Potentially, yeah, maybe just a splash and dash for fuel.
I think in terms of fuel, they might be comfortable. CJ's got 47, and Big Panther's got 46, so I do think they're both comfortable. Only the tires need to be changed. I do think.
Yeah, maybe just another stop for tires. The stop for tires around lap 12, I think. So then potentially a pit stop coming up for both of them very shortly in the next lap or so. If we go off the previous ones, maybe extend the stint out a little bit longer.
It might also be that they're just gonna finish on this tire.
Maybe so.
Oh, Cryptic was a mistake, it looks like.
Yeah, it definitely was.
He was right behind Jamie. So, but just like we've seen in Rio Puna, every time he gets close to a car and we switch the camera to him, he makes a small mistake. So,
Scald is in.
Scald is in, so this is the moment. Let's see what's gonna happen. Is his pit stop blocked by Infinity?
No, he's in the box beforehand.
Alright.
So, it's no fuel. It's a little splash and dash. And potentially damage. Infinity's pulls forward a little bit.
Give him a bit of space.
Because maybe he might actually be stuck in his box because of Infinity's he's got going now.
So he does come out behind Ethan and behind Martin. Now, does he have the pace in 14 laps to get back to third again? Personally, I doubt it, but we've seen stranger things happen. So let's see if he has the pace.
Yeah, let's see what the gap is going to be to these guys. It's going to be quite a chunk. Yeah, he's got to find 17 seconds to catch Marley. And Cryptic is really lining up Jam this time. Go down to the S section. There's going to be no room here. You can see him just trying to weave back and forth between the mirrors, trying to put him off. Of course, the drivers are not allowed to flash their lights to put a driver off. You see the difference in the lights, actually, the yellow lights and the white lights. The yellow ones tend to be on the more endurance-focused cars, like the Audi. And that was very wide from Jam there, actually. Got away with it.
Got a good exit.
Yeah, I think he was pushing track limiter, and Ethan is in as well.
Ethan's in now.
Right, so he's currently 20 seconds ahead of his teammate, so Skull's going to get him easy, I think.
I do think so, yeah.
Oh, Cryptic looking for a move here.
He's gonna get Rodney, and he's through.
That was easy for him. And gap up front, suddenly, CJ's put a big push on.
Well.
So maybe he's just been saving the tyres for those couple of laps. Now he's pushing.
Cryptic is finally through. Jamie, small mistake and immediately punished. But Ethan indeed is gonna come back in 7th position. But the gap up front, it is closing again.
Yes, it is. And every driver has got a penalty apart from CJ as far as we can see.
And except,
Jam has just got one actually.
Jam has just got one actually, yeah.
Yeah, he has, yeah, he's just picked up one.
That's 1 second.
And Cryptic's got 5 seconds.
Cryptic has got 5.
Oh dear. Right, so he's got some corner cuts. Right there, so CJ, he's got to make sure, this track is so tough for track limits. So CJ's got to make sure he doesn't run wide on any part of the circuit, unless he picks up a penalty.
I don't know how much is the maximum before you get a drive-through.
I think it's a 3. as far as I know. 3 penalties, then a drive-through.
Yeah, I think it's about seconds. In some leagues, like if you get a 5-second penalty, you would have had a drive-through right now.
Yeah.
It depends on how much seconds you get from penalties. Then it turns into a drive-through. So let's hope we will not get a drive-through.
Let's hope not. We've got, or we will have 12 laps to go next time by. CJ's pushing.
He's getting closer. 1.2 is the gap now. If it finishes like it is, CJ is in winning position.
Yeah, but he's got to be careful that he doesn't push too much, abuse the track limit to pick up a penalty, and I think Infinities has come back out on the track.
Yes, he has actually.
And he set a fastest lap of a 26-minute 45. That's a rapid lap from
what a stunning
the Dutchman
pace.
there. What a stunning lap. 26
really
minutes.
You have to put in. You really have to have a lot of patience for such laps.
Yeah. It really does take some talent to set a 26-minute lap. Really impressive.
He's getting closer and closer.
Yeah,
10th by 10th, 100th by 100th, the gap is shrinking. And Big Panta is feeling the hot breath of CJ in his neck right now. And will he be able to withstand the pressure from behind?
Let's see what comes about. You don't have to worry from any pressure from behind, because Cryptic is 28 seconds behind these guys. And of course, Big Prent, of course, could be just controlling the pace. Suddenly, you could just pick up the pace and go off into the distance, but CJ's been putting the pressure on the past few laps. So he's now pulled it back out to a second. He's got to find another second and a bit to make sure he's comfortable. They are coming up to lap Ethan, I think.
I think it's Ethan, yeah.
Right, so Ethan's going to play an integral part. He's ended up 20 seconds behind his teammate Skuld, and Skuld is 20 seconds behind Marty. They really haven't had that great of a day today, but it is still 6th and 7th.
Let's see, is he getting out of the way? I think he is.
He's pulling off to the right-hand side. Half throttling, that's the way to do it. Lets them through. Let's see if he lets CJ through. Yes. And that is exactly how you do it.
They do not compromise their lines, so that is how you let a faster car through.
And it doesn't actually take much away from you as well. If you're just half throttling, you're still keeping up speed instead of stopping halfway through a corner, so it's the best way to do it.
Unless you're driving in Indianapolis, of course.
Yeah, of course. So, gap 8/10 of a second. We've got 11 laps to go. We'll have 10 laps to go next time by. The battle would be on if CJ got a penalty right now. Oh, Big Parenta once again with a big moment.
But it's not going to help him because he needs to gain another second to CJ to be able to win, because that penalty may throw a really big spanner in the works for him. Like I said at the beginning, still 2 seconds, so he hasn't gained anything. Lucky for him, so...
So the battle would... Excuse me, the battle would be very much on if CJ picked up a penalty. Even just a 1 second penalty. So we've got 10 laps to go now. Every driver apart from Infinities and CJ have picked up penalties. And CJ is on lap 11 currently, so he's a long way back. But he's just been sitting in the pit lane for the past 20-ish laps.
Oh, CJ, that looked like a corner cut actually. Looked like a small corner cut.
Yeah, maybe he's just starting to feel... He's really pushing very hard, for whatever reason. However, the lap times last time by were identical, pretty much.
Pretty much identical, yeah. Only half a tenth difference.
Yeah. Maybe...
Well, not even. Oh, yes it is, yeah, half a tenth.
Some of the guys in chat saying that maybe...
Oh,
Boots again! And CJ went wide as well, so they're both struggling on the brakes through that corner, but some of the guys are saying that maybe Big Parenta is just slowing down to give CJ dirty air to force an error.
Well, I don't really think, I don't really know actually if dirty air on GT cars is that strong on Porsche cars.
Yeah, well...
It affects the car behind.
CJ had a bit of a twitch going through there. You can see the gap was just going in between 1.2 and 1 second. They're making the same error lap after lap through that one double right-hander. Let's see what the laps this time by are. They're going to be very close together. Once again.
Yeah, almost, yeah, 1/10 difference. Doesn't
not
matter
even
that much.
a tenth. That's a couple of thousandths difference.
Well, it is a tenth. Well,
no, sorry, it is a tenth. Yeah, it is a tenth. Yeah, it is a tenth. Almost a tenth. But see, I can say you got into 35s on that lap. 35.999. Close as you want.
Oh, Big Parenta going a bit wide, it looks like. He is struggling. It looks like he has understeer and oversteer sometimes.
Yeah, he's understeering through that through that right-hander and oversteering through the double right. Under braking. And CJ's
Look,
getting
under
close.
braking, CJ is catching up so much. Half a second now is the gap. Unbelievable.
Watch the braking this time. Is he going to get twitchy on the brakes once again? Yeah.
Well, Parenta is.
CJ goes deep again.
But CJ has got ABS. Big Parenta also has ABS.
Also has ABS.
That doesn't make a difference. But you can adjust the strength of the ABS. Maybe Big Parenta has a bigger problem with locking up, or maybe the brake balance is different. But CJ is really pushing him now, and he just wants to overtake him on track.
Yeah, just to say that he won it on track. Because it was taken away from him.
I need to share play, but I'm afraid I will miss something.
We may have to just break away at some point as CJ gets close.
Gonna do it now.
Yeah, I'm going to be blind for a couple of seconds. If anything happens, I'm going to be very, very annoyed.
Hey, look, they're still following up behind each other. I'm gonna start it up in a moment, but I'm gonna watch now.
Oh no,
because CJ is really close to him.
Okay. I'll keep an eye on stream, I'll be a couple of seconds behind.
Oh, CJ, they're side by side again. They're side by side. CJ is right behind and he's going down the inside. Oh, he's hidden. And, oh, they stay on the track, but slight contact.
Currently blind.
You can stop the share play now. I think I can start it up in a moment again.
Yeah, I have it stopped.
Oh, they're really getting close now. Yeah, there was slight contact, and Big Parenta good defending. But CJ doing a dummy move to the outside and going back to the inside again. Have you stopped your share play yet?
Yes, I stopped it about a minute ago.
There we go.
Let's get back in. Let's keep an eye on the...
CJ not being able to find a way past just yet, but he got really close. He went down the inside, Big Parenta shut the door, slight contact, but no love lost.
Yeah, still 1-1 in the England-Croatia game in extra time. So...
Well, this is getting more tense.
So we've got about 7 laps to go.
7, 6, something around that.
But even after all of this, CJ's just in the lead right now. Well, he's unable to currently beat Big Parenta on track.
Yeah, it's also just, of course, for the pride. It's good to win with a penalty, but it's not how you want to win. You want to win fair and square on the track itself, and he's using every centimeter. You can just see on his right hand side, he was going over the grass just to get a bit more space.
Jam is in.
Jam is in the pits.
Right, okay, so he's going to drop behind. So obviously he didn't stop at all during that.
Yeah, you have to make a pit stop. That is, of course, demanded.
I'll put Marty into P4.
And Scald, will he change position? I do not think so.
I think he might.
Scald's technique did not work, but CJ is again right behind Big Prenta. So the battle is not over yet.
Even if it's not for position, technically speaking, it does make for some great action. They've got no pressure from behind. 39 seconds behind them is Cryptic. They're on board with CJ. On course to take 3 from 4. And the other one, and technically he's won the last 3 on track. This might be the only one he's not won on track. But taken via penalty.
Big Prenta's just hoping for a mistake now. That's his only hope of winning this race.
Yeah, but he is proving that he can defend from this man. And he needs to hope that CJ just picks up a penalty at just any point. Right now it's just not looking like that. He's been penalty free for a lot. Pretty much every race apart from last week. Picked up the speeding in the pit lane. And once again, Big Prince is always sideways through that corner.
Yeah, his tires are not going to be happy about that, so for the final laps that might matter a lot.
He's obviously used to using that way of entry, so he's just calmly correcting it and going through.
Yeah,
and there's Infinity's with a penalty.
Oh, Infinity also got a penalty, so CJ is the only car on track without a penalty. You can just see how harsh this track is.
We're seeing red, apart from CJ. So, CJ loose. Well, he tried a late dive. Big Prenta was loose on the brakes. Lap 33. And you can see the times are very close. Look right now. CJ is in the lead of this race by 1.6 seconds. Taking away the penalty. Look at the run he almost got. As Big Prenta parks the bus on the exit there.
Trying it. No, he's too far back. But he is already looking at the space between that corner. That's absolutely insane.
Riding on board in the visor cam. Big Prenta going wide and taking a wide entry.
This is where they had contact a few laps ago, but this time it went all cleanly. But on the brakes, you can just see how much time GT makes up.
Yeah, he's more confident that both you are allowed to run ABS in the GT cars because that is realistic driving aids because most of the GT cars do actually run ABS. So that's why they're running that. And
Big Prenta is just gonna be really annoyed that the only car without a penalty just has to be CJ.
And it has to be the one that's sitting behind them. Well, what an exciting battle it would be if CJ were to just pick up a penalty just right about now.
Do not curse it, Soup.
Hey, I will curse it because that'll make it for a really interesting battle then. Lap 34.
But I think, penalty or no penalty, CJ wants that first position on track.
Yeah, and they are closing up to a lapped car just up the road. I think it might be Scald. He's just through.
Yes,
yeah,
correct.
There he is. So, not as many drivers lapped this time, this race. Only one so far. So we
There's
have...
a car stopped as well. Is that Jamie? No, it's not. Let's see who that is. Is it Infinity? It is Infinity.
Yeah.
He was stopped.
He's on lap 17 currently. And Skull's coming up to lap him. 4 laps to go. 3 laps to go next time by. And CJ still not able to find a way past Big Prenta, but Big Prenta got wedged on the curbs there. you'll see CJ will have a run down towards the S's. He looks, shows his nose, but knows there's no way through. And loses a little bit of time through that section as he runs deep.
They've not lost sight of each other for the whole race.
Yeah,
and we're nearly at 3 laps to go.
Nose to tail to the entire race, and they're 45 seconds clear of Cryptic. It could be in for a grandstand ending between these two. Lap 35 to 37. 3 laps to go. And so little separating them lap time wise. They're going 2 seconds a lap quicker than the next car of Cryptic. That'll come up to lap Scold.
Yeah, this is really a high class battle. This is a battle of I think the high class I've seen so far this season.
Yeah, it's definitely a huge display as he goes for a move.
He's already trying it, but not close enough. He holds on to the lead. Well, the technical lead.
Yeah, he tried it earlier in the race as well. He might have a pop at him here because he knows he's going to get loose, but no.
Big Prenta maybe is forcing him into a mistake, or trying to at least.
Yeah, maybe some sneaky tactics there because he actually slowed down in the middle of the corner. So maybe just try and pull him off. There's 2 cars actually just up the road there, and that'll be of Skull and Infinities. As we have 2 laps to go now. CJ is still in the lead of this race by 1.5 seconds. But no penalties for him just yet. He hasn't picked up one at all. He's been clean and precise. 2 laps to go in Le Mans. And CJ is going to take a commanding lead in the championship. He's the reigning GT3 Elite Champion, and he's showing how quick he is, but Big Parenta also showing how good he is by defending like this. And of course he was a Renault Esports semi-finalist, so he wouldn't have got there if he wasn't any good. They've got past Infinities. They just have Skulls to deal with now. Got a lap and a half to go. Gap stands a half a second. Has CJ resigned to just taking it via penalty, or will he try and take it on track?
I think he will not give up until the checkered flag. But he's drawing back a tiny bit. Still comfortably in the lead though.
Yeah, so he's going to have to negotiate their way past Skulls, who's still right there. Just up the road. They're going to catch him in an awkward spot here. As he goes. That was probably the best thing to do, if I'm honest. As CJ falls 1 second behind. And there's Infinity unlapping himself right there. Is Big Parenta putting a late push? Let's see,
Those
one more lap.
Especially the rear tires.
Well, he needs to find 1 second in 1 lap. It's just too much to ask, I think. I think that might have been due. I think it might have been due to the mistakes further down. Maybe just put him off a little bit. But I think he's just got this one under control. And he's going to take 3 victories from 4 races. Big Parenta can maybe have the bragging rights of taking the race on track, but it doesn't count for much. He'll take second anyway. He's taken 1 second place in Sonoma in round 1.
Well, it all depends. If it was a really awkward penalty, the stewards may even consider getting rid of the penalty.
Potentially, yeah. Because they had to do that in Indianapolis as well with awkward track limit penalties. So 1 more sector to go. The gap stands at 1.1. DJ is hanging in there. So here he comes through the last sector. Big Parenta leads on track. But Big Parenta has got a 2-second time penalty. CJ has avoided the penalties throughout the race. Through the final corner, round 4. We'll go to Big Parenta on track. But it's CJ who will win here in Le Mans by exactly 1 second.
Exactly 1 second, so CJ, Big Parenta needed exactly 1 second to win the race. But unfortunately, the penalty really threw a spanner in the works for him. It cost him the win today.
Yep, absolutely.
But so great drive from the two of them.
Great battling, great respect.
Just the amount of defending he did, that's really high class.
Next car across the line.
In third, actually.
Yeah, you can remember.
He was in the. We totally forgot about him. He counted back up to fourth. So
he did this last week as well. Came from the back on lap 1. Of course, last week was a pretty horrific accident he was involved in. So coming through the final corner, Cryptic takes another podium and takes P3. I think he'll be happy with that. And we got a great result coming from Marty, I can say. P4.
What position?
That's a great result for Marty. P4. And we'll have Jam to come across the line next to take P5. He's coming through the final corner now. And after that we will have Scold and Ethan, who may already have actually crossed the line. They have. So round 4 goes to CJ. And
so not quite exactly 1 second is the gap. 994. But yeah, CJ wins the race. A Big Parenta is second, Cryptic in third, Martin is in fourth, Jamie in fifth, Scott in sixth, Even is in seventh, and the retirees, well, I do not think Infinity is a retiree, but he will work up some final points. EPR retired, Matty D retired, and of course, I forgot his name. I'm really sorry.
Fastest lap honours went to Big Parenta, not on 135.477. So that'll do it. That is it for round 4 in Le Mans. CJ takes a commanding lead in the championship as his nearest rival. Ollie D was missing. Matty D did not race today because he had a wheel issue, but we'll be back next week once again, same time. It'll be in Donington Park in the wet. That should be an interesting one. So, thank you all so much for watching. We should be back to the normal comms team next week. But from myself and from Vector on the commentary box, thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.